Hey YouTube, today I'm going to do a little update on what's going on with the elephant in the room, which is the problems with the P320 pistol from SIG Sauer. Before we get started, I'm going to show you that this P320 doesn't have anything in it and we are clear to make this video. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of update here. I made a video here very recently about retracting my statements about the P320 and how I don't see that there's a problem with it or anything like that. Now, in light of what's happened here recently with the airmen in the United States Air Force being fatally shot with one of these pistols, and the initial claim was that the gun just went off while it was in a holster, that got me thinking that where there's smoke, there's fire. And folks, there's no question about it. This is a very controversial pistol, and there's been a lot of quote unquote incidences. It's been reported. There's been lawsuits after lawsuits after it. There's been demonstrations done online with these things going off, and there's been talk of the mechanisms on the inside, the lack of safeties and stuff like that. Well, what the Air Force uses, they use a version of this called the M18 or the MS-17, and it does have a thumb safety right here. Now, from what I understand, the thumb safety does nothing about the striker in the pistol that is fully cocked, and with any kind of movement or anything that can release that spring and it can go off whether there's a safety on or not. There's no trigger safety on this like there is a Glock or any other type of similar pistol that has a little trigger safety on them. Most of those have a trigger safety on them, or they have some type, like I know with the Springfield, they have like a grip safety on it also, like kind of like a 1911. This has none of that, this version, unless you buy the M17 or M18 version that has the thumb safety. Well, none of that really matters. There's just been a lot of controversy surrounding this, and I had to eat crow when I said that I believe this pistol is safe. Now, when these first came out, there was a problem with them being drop safe, and it's a certain angle where this hit, the gun could allegedly go off. I'm not going to say it for a fact because I've never had it happen. And SIG did offer a recall, a voluntary recall, and they upgraded it to this more thin-looking trigger. And that's how you know that this is a post recall gun, or a older gun that's had the recall done to it. So now there's been new light shed on the situation. So the airman that got fatally shot at the end of July, there's now been an arrest made for involuntary manslaughter and impeding an investigation and withholding information, giving false information during investigation and stuff like that. Now, I'm not here to take sides, folks, on either way, but usually where there's smoke, there's fire, and that goes true for both ways you look at it. Whenever there's smoke, there's fire. Whenever there's this much controversy over one single product, there's usually probably going to be something that needs to be looked at, and this P320 probably needs to be looked at. Now, I'm not saying that this gun did not just go off by itself and fatally shoot that airman, but I'm also not going to say the others that it wasn't an unintentional discharge. I'm not going to say either way because I simply was not there. But it makes you start thinking, if they were quick enough to make an arrest, there's probably something more they need to look into with this. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to take sides, but there's a lot of people that go on the internet and they tell the whole story just by reading an internet article. And folks, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. That doesn't necessarily mean this pistol is unsafe, nor does it also mean it is safe. You can't trust anything that you read on the internet, especially if you read one article and you draw your conclusion from that. I would wait for all the tests to be done, all the investigations to be done before I made a correct, assumption about what's happened or stuff like that. Me personally, I'm going to choose not to carry the P320 until all the books are written on it and all the investigations come out, all the tests are done, and the final results are out. That's just my personal opinion. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not telling anybody else what to do. But you always got to remember there are two sides to every single story. And everybody had automatically assumed that gun discharged without anything touching the trigger or anything going on, just being in a holster. And I've seen all the smear campaigns for SIG Sauer all across the internet about it and all this kind of stuff. And then a couple days ago, an arrest was made, and it was they're saying it was a negligent discharge. Now, like I said, I wasn't there, and none of you people were there, so you do what you feel is safe for you. But you always remember, with anything that you read on the internet, there's always going to be two sides to every single story. Do I think SIG Sauer is a company full of saints that do no wrong? Absolutely not. I do not think that. I know that their CEO was involved and has a felony conviction for trafficking firearms or something. Somebody higher up in that company was. I do know that for a fact. So I don't think the company is full of saints. So I think they intentionally manufacture a gun that's very dangerous. I don't think they intentionally do it either. So I think there's a little bit. What you do is you read one story and then you read the other, and the truth's probably going to be somewhere in between, and eventually the truth will come out. And the ending to the story is yet to be written on this 320. I know when it came out, it was a great platform. It's very ergonomic. It's got a great trigger on it. This modular design that's on the inside is very inventive. I like the fact that you can change these grip modules out. Just a really cool pistol. Functions very well. I can't say enough good things about it. But like I always said, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of smoke surrounding this very controversial pistol. So I imagine there is a fire somewhere. I just don't know that in this particular case, that's what happened. And it's a shame that it happened, that one of our United States servicemen had to lose their life. I do not know. It's always a shame when one has to lose their life, but I don't know why they had to lose their life. I don't know if it was this pistol had a malfunction or was it a negligent discharge. We're going to let the courts figure that out, and I'm not going to play judge on this, but I just want to give you an update that there's always two sides to every story. An arrest has been made, and there is somebody charged with giving false information and involuntary manslaughter. In order for you to make that kind of accusation, I would assume that you would have to have some type of, strong evidence leading towards that. That would be my opinion, but I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a prosecutor, and I'm not in the United States military, so I don't know how all those things particularly work. Just always keep it in mind before you pass judgment on something real quick. Always know the entire story before you pass judgment. And you do what you feel safe about this pistol. If you feel that there's a lot of smoke and there's fire somewhere, don't carry it. If you feel that it's perfectly safe for you, you do what you feel is safe for you. I'm going to stay away from them until the ending of the story is written. So anyway, folks, let me know what you think about this arrest that's been made here recently and the death of the United States Airmen in the United States Air Force. And thank you very much for watching my short little video today. And you folks have a great day.